Hi guys, welcome to Ministries, a channel that helps you fill your pot with the Word of God. My name is Madonna Pettis, and today I'm here with a guest. And as I told you guys, Pot Ministry means power of testimonies. And today we just want to share about God and the experiences that we've had with God. And I have a guest, Heidi, one of my best friends, and she's going to tell you in a bit what she does, and we just get into the conversation. Yeah, all the best, and God bless you so much with this talk. Hello, Heidi. Can you please tell the people who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Heidi. I'm one of your friends from the last 8 years. We have been friends for 8 years, and with Raymond a little shorter. But I'm really thankful to God to know the two of you. I'm a dentist, and what is more important, I'm a really faithful Christian. I really believe in Jesus Christ and His sacrifice.
Yeah. When did you come to this point that I'm a really faithful Christian? Were you raised up in a Christian family? How did you come to know about God?
Yes, I have been raised up in a Christian family. My grandfather, my dad's father, used to be a pastor, and I was somehow really born into a believing surrounding and faithful surrounding. And although as a child I had sometimes I had a really hard time um, because I was born in Romania, and it was at the time of Ceausescu and all these repressions on Christians, and for my parents who were still working, it was a really tough time, a hard time to be um, in a society that rejects God and religion, like it was in communism. So my parents decided to leave Romania. My mom, being a German, they decided to go to Germany. And then it was clear that they had to leave without me. So when they could get out of Romania, they didn't travel back to Germany. They didn't travel back to Romania, what I wanted to say. They stayed in Germany. They visited someone here, and they stayed here. So it was a real shock for me. It was really the first time that I missed my parents. They left me from one day to the other. Although God gave me a really loving surrounding then. I had my grandparents, my dad's parents, and the oldest sister of my mom's. They really loved me. They really tried to make up for the loss I had in my parents. Although it was clear that the loss would be only a short time, but it started. It ended in being 9 months that I had to be separated from my parents. 9 months, and this is a very long time for a 3-year-old. So I always had somehow the feeling of losing someone, of fear of losing someone. So that was a real big motive in my childhood. And with God, my faith was first like a child's faith. I never had this faith, this unshattering faith also in my parents. They will be there always. And that was a crisis for me as a child. So when I when I prayed and I didn't get an instant answer, and that's how God works. Not always with instant answers. So I somehow had the impression God left me, and that was first. It was first hard, and when after 9 months, my grandfather brought me to Germany. My parents, they were not yet allowed to go back to Romania, and my grandfather brought me to Germany after all the paper stuff was clear. And then a hard time started because my parents, they also they struggled here in Germany. It was to be recognized with their jobs, and my dad, he's a musician, he had problems to be recognized there in Bavaria where we went, and it was really tough on my parents. We also had many conflicts, and I saw many conflicts between my parents because sure.
How did that affect you as a child?
Yes, it was. I was being torn from my surrounding, and then thrown to a country, to a foreign country. Well, I knew the language because I grew up bilingual. My mom was a German. She always spoke only German with me, and dad Romanian. So I didn't have a problem with the language here in Germany, but all the other stuff, it felt so strange. I didn't feel like I belong. And so God, the faith, somehow in church I felt like I belonged because people were loving and caring and kind. And it was different from around the world around. So I really like going to church. I always felt some kind of security at church. And but with God, I always was afraid, a little bit afraid of God, that he will make a decision that I won't like, and that will be hard on me. And I was afraid.
Do you still have the fear right now?
I lost it. I lost
you
it
lost
now.
it along the way, yeah.
Yes, there is still a feeling. Sometimes this a shadow of this feeling. I have it but in the last years, decades, the last 2 decades, 3 decades, I lost this feeling. God helped me to get over it. Yes, and then though I wasn't, I had my struggles with God as a teenager also. I was baptized at the age of 13 years. It was just a question. My old pastor asked, do you really believe in the sacrifice of Christ and in the redemption and all? Though I didn't, a 13-year-old doesn't really understand what redemption means and so on. And I said, yes, I believe this.
Yeah, and then you were baptized just like that.
So I was baptized. I didn't have this wow effect that from a really shattered, sinful life. No, I'm redeemed. So it was like a very rational decision. It was, yes, I believe this. I had no high, like this feeling, wow, I'm not baptized. No, I didn't have this.
Yeah. How would you describe your faith now in comparison to your faith back then?
Not having one moment where I can put my finger on to say that was the moment where my faith changed to something personal. But I see the long road that God took with me. So I was baptized with 13 years, and then I was living like a teenager. Well, not a very rebellious teenager. I was more on the.
You were there.
Yeah, I was not very rebellious. I was like you say in German, brav.
How do we translate it in English? Brav kids. So I'll check the word and write it down.
I was good at school. I didn't do many things though. Just small things that even my parents say I was not obeying all the time, but it was okay. It was okay. Then my mom didn't have many
many issues, many problems.
Yes, she was very chilled.
Yeah.
And therefore, it was like a process when I started after my diploma, after I left school and started my studies. I somehow started questioning my faith because I learned evolution theory and philosophers and like Kant and all these philosophers, and I thought, yes, perhaps they are right, because I've been told all my life there is a God, but if I hadn't been told, I wouldn't believe this. And I really wanted to know, is there a real God? But on the other hand, I started to go into this, let's try live without the belief in a God. I still went to church, I still did my Adventist life, but inside I somehow left the faith. I tried to watch from outside, what is this with this faith? And I started to, everything went nice and good and smooth. Also studying, I started dentistry, studying dental school, and everything went okay. No big struggles, and I felt in control. But I had a feeling, you have this control, something will be wrong. And then God allowed sickness to happen to me that was really life-threatening for a short time.
Would you like to share a bit about
it? Was I had a small surgery, and after the surgery, it was discovered that I had a thrombosis, and so this is now, everything is okay with it now. It wasn't cancer or something like that, but it was life-threatening, and then I started to check that, to see that I'm not in control of my life. So I went to God and told him, I did everything that you said. I tried to follow all the rules, and you allowed this sickness to happen to me. And I didn't understand why he allowed it. Now I understand looking backwards, that he tried to show me in a very smooth way
that you can never be in control.
You can never be in control. And from that point, my journey started really. And you cannot have a journey without these experiences of being in a melting pot. Sometimes you have to experience hard times to really see that God is in control. God is really is not leaving you behind. He's never making any faults, and that's what I saw now in looking backwards. And now the last 3 years, I also came to do this. I gave God everything, really everything in my life. And because 3 years ago, I started having this faith that He is good all the time. He wants only the good thing for me. And I experienced so many changes also in my life. And also other people say, I don't know, but other people say I had some change in personality to the better. Not that I was a terrible person, but everyone is one way or another terrible. So that's the way with God.
You mentioned way back that you were praying as a child and you had a feeling like God is not replying sometimes, and you were a bit not sure how God works. How about right now? Do you have experiences in your life where you feel like God is still not replying me? Or experiences where you ask God, where are you?
Yes, it's also hard, like yes, like praying for a partner. partner, something like that. You know, that you see that in other people's lives. This is a road that is so smooth, and in my life, it has never been smooth.
Yeah, maybe your testimony is going to encourage someone out there who is also praying and doesn't know when is God going to answer me, or even asking God, are you even there listening to my prayers? So tell the people out there, how long have you been praying for a partner?
Yes, it was also on off, but I've been praying for a partner quite a long time, for the last 20, 30 years.
Guys, for 20, 30 years, she's been patiently waiting on God. And I think you have a strength that God has given you to wait, because not so many people would still be waiting on God after 20, 30 years. I remember my time of praying for God for a partner. Just 1 year, I gave up. I couldn't take it anymore. So you have a strength that many people don't have. You're strong, and God has given you that. So I think that is something positive that would inspire someone out there, someone who is waiting just for 2 years or 5 years and saying, I can't believe in God anymore. And if you see someone who is still faithful in God and has been praying for 20 to 30 years, you know that you have hope somewhere. So I think your story is encouraging people, because they know there's someone who still trusts in God, who still loves God, who still believes in God, even though some things are not working out. Tell me, are there points that you've said now, this praying and waiting, are there points that you almost give up, on the whole, or you ask yourself, maybe this partnership, this relationship stuff is not for me, or maybe this marriage stuff was not meant for me? Has the devil maybe tried to bring, sometimes when you're praying so hard, the devil has a way of bringing confusion into your head? Have you experienced some things like that you could share with us?
Well, I'm not sure it's the devil. Perhaps sometimes God tries to tell you that the most important in life is the relationship with Him.
Yes.
That it was like on-off praying relationship. You tell now I've been praying constantly 20 to 30 years. It wasn't exactly like that. And sometimes I'm still not sure if the devil did this. But thinking about the Romans 8 text, all things work for good for the ones who love the Lord. I think that also not having a partner can have its good sides, and yes, having the wrong partner can also be very challenging. Because what I saw is it's not good to rush God. Because I see so many people who made a really wrong choice, and they lost so much. They put also their faith in danger. I think it's hard for, if you're a really faithful Christian, to be with a non-Christian, for example. That's hard. You have to have your boundaries and your criteria. Some criteria are very important. And like this, I think so many people outside of churches or outside of Christianity tell me, wow, you are complicated, you don't want this and that and that. Oh, you have your list here, just leave your list. So, but I see that people who left their principles, they were many times they were not very happy with their choice.
So tip number 1, don't compromise on your principles.